My name is Aaron Baker, and this is a PowerPoint on my high school and state culinary experience. So, my introduction to culinary and cooking, I always loved eating food. I know we all have our favorite foods that bring us comfort. My favorite holidays would usually be based on the foods that we would eat. That's why New Year's is one of my favorite holidays because our family always makes loads of finger foods, which we eat through the whole night. When I was young, my parents would have me help them in the kitchen cooking dinner for the family, and they knew it was important for me and my siblings to learn how to cook so that when we move out and become independent, we would know how to feed ourselves. These pictures are just some of my favorite finger foods that we would typically eat on New Year's Eve. The first time that I was introduced to a home ec class was in middle school. I never took the class in middle school for whatever reason, but I could always smell the food from down the hall, and I was super jealous of the kids that got to cook during school. My brother was also in that class, and he would bring home some good recipes and make them for the family. Freshman year was my first time taking a cooking class. It was the hardest class to get into in the school because everyone wanted to take it, but I was lucky enough to get in my first year. From the very start, I loved that class more than any other class I'd ever taken. I also had the most amazing teacher who to this day is my favorite teacher ever and also one of my best friends. The other 3 years of my high school culinary went by really quick. My sophomore year, I wasn't picked to take the culinary class, which made me really sad because I wanted to go through all four of the courses, but thankfully I was able to skip the culinary three course and go straight to the fourth and most advanced course. These years had complex techniques and more gourmet foods. One of my favorite activities was when the preschoolers would take a field trip and we would teach them how to make cookies. ProStart was the official name of the advanced course that I was in. This is when I was introduced to caterings and competitions. I was a part of a small catering team for an event with public school officials. It took a lot of practice, and the day of was really hectic, but this memory is one that I will never forget. This picture is of our team at the event. My senior year of high school, my teacher introduced me to the Pro Start competition. It's a statewide culinary competition in which teams of up to 4 people have 1 hour to cook a three-course themed meal with no running water and no electricity. We planned for weeks for the perfect menu, and we practiced every day for weeks leading up to the competition. We also had a professional chef as our mentor. We ended up doing extremely well in the competition, and if it were not for the coronavirus, we would have gone to the national competition. This picture here is of my team. It was just us three, and I'm the one on the right. I learned many lessons through the culinary years. Patience is probably one of the biggest ones. Not everything is going to be the perfect the first time you do it, or even the second or third. Things take time, and you need to be really persistent. I also learned that attention to detail is very important. And yeah, that's my culinary experience.